YouTube, it's Brian Phillips, the Twin Timber 1.6. Super amazing counter-rotating props. You're like, why are there counter-rotating props on a Timber? That's because it's all new. And we have leading edge slats installed on ours and some heavy duty. I don't want to break it, but I'm going to do it anyway. Oh yeah, guys, the landing gear are strong. Throttle cuts off, takeoff flaps.
Oh, there you go.
So as you can see, it'll get off the ground in no time. And look at those LEDs, beautiful. So we already flew this for one flight. Not sure what all you guys are gonna see, but I wanted to get a sunset flight because you guys see, even if it does bite, you've got power to get out of it. Okay, let's go to the bowl for just a second. Takeoff flaps, landing flaps, 30% throttle. 3200 4S is what we're flying it on. You can fly this on 3 or 4S. I would suggest 4S myself. Take off flaps now. Look at this thing. And yes, you can do pretty much any crazy maneuver you want to do with this thing. We really like Timbers, as you guys know. Timbers are always really fun, but sometimes people complain because like it's another Timber. Well, this is not exactly another Timber. It's a totally new design and super fun. And so really excited to be sharing it on Brian Phillips RC. If you guys are new to the channel, what we do is review these planes, try to help prevent one and dones and help people get back into the hobby. Those are the primary things we do. If you don't know what a one and done is, it's when you buy a plane like this and you're a brand new pilot and you have no clue. Oh, but this has safe. You see what happened? It just like leveled out. Look guys, I'm not even looking. Pretty cool. Well, don't want to hit trees though. So let's turn it around. We'll get about half throttle, full landing flaps, and then look at this guys. I'm gonna just point it the direction I want and I'm not even looking. See that plane? See it? It's flying in a straight line. That's not the way it works in real life, folks.
It's not. Okay,
out of the flaps, out of safe. But then you have a super capable plane that's got differential thrust, counter-rotating props, LEDs, leading edge slats, STOL capable, and all the different fun things that you want. Even upside down performances, that was really weird. Even upside down performance is amazing. Given that we have leading edge slats installed, upside down performance should be rough, but it's actually not bad, guys. Look, lay her on her back. She'll do what she wants. It's got a little bit of a weird roll tendency to it. But then also, real quick, I'm just gonna show you one thing midair I shouldn't do. Reverse thrust. That was so cool. So guys, even when you give reverse thrust on this plane, the differential thrust still works. So check this out, full landing flaps. And some of you guys are thinking, hey, I'm not gonna use reverse thrust. Okay, that's fine. But what's not to love about short landings? It's so much fun.
But what if you don't have a channel?
If you don't have a channel, then get a channel. Seriously, if you don't have a channel, accidentally turned safe on. If you guys noticed I was trying to put the gear up. It's such a muscle memory thing for me. If you don't have the channel, you might want to start thinking about making plans to do so. I'm just saying that because let's do a high-speed pass so people can see what it's like. That was pretty bad high-speed pass.
Not a pass.
Let's try it again. All I'm gonna say is this thing does get a little bit hypersensitive on the elevator when you do crazy stuff like that. And that's what I did there. And I was like, whatever, I'll just turn it into something different. Full landing flaps here. Oh, let's do some grass hops, folks. Okay, camera crew, let's go over by the bowl. Right there. Perfect, thank you. We'll just land right here. Now these landing gear are supposed to be super robust now. And as you can see, that's a rough area and we're having no problems. Let's go ahead and just do a little taxi into a takeoff. That was a funny way of taking off. Okay, out of the flaps all together. Okay, full landing flaps here.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's go over here and try to land on the side of the hill. Can we do that? Oh, by the way, telemetry. Also, if you didn't need more, that's perfect right there. The telemetry will keep you appraised of your voltages, keep you out of trouble. And reverse thrust just so you don't run into your septic tank and blow up your house. All right, so here goes nothing. Take off flaps, full up elevator, into forward thrust, and we're just gonna use those very big, powerful motors to get lined up, and we'll just take off like it's not an issue. That was about 30% throttle, by the way, for the record. So folks, if you're excited about the opportunity to fly a totally new Timber, you're ready. And by the way, some of you have been a little bit disappointed because Horizon's releases have been some re-releases and things of the sort, I must say, and I don't like having to say this for them, but the truth is, what's happened is COVID really screwed up the supply chain, and what we're hearing from the inside is that basically they didn't want them to release in the order that they're releasing, but they are releasing that way because that's when they're getting them. And so some of the releases were supposed to be spaced out in quite a different manner, like the F-14, for instance, was supposed to release a long time ago. Not like Draco style, but the Draco was released super late. Watch this. Woo, yeah. This thing is super fun to fly, guys. It's very effortless. Now, is this gonna be a good plane for a beginner? I don't know. I mean, it's not hard to fly, but I'm gonna tell you something, just like every other Timber I've ever flown, you're gonna get it and you're gonna think, I'm ready for a jet turbine. Well, the truth is, they're not all as easy as a Timber. But this thing is sure easy and fun to fly. Full landing flaps here. And we go through the entire setup, up to and including, we'll go right overhead here, cam crew. Up to and including thrust reverse. The differential thrust comes out of the box set up, which is nice. You don't have to do anything fancy to get that set up. But you can turn it off too if you want, I guess, if you're really weird. Let's see if we can do a stall turn here. I'm gonna keep about 10% throttle just so I get differential thrust with it. Yep, very clean. So folks, if you're new to the channel and you don't know what we do here, we love flying all these new planes, the latest and greatest. Cam crew and I are gonna go right to the middle of the driveway. And we love that you're here with us. If you haven't smashed the like button, please consider doing so if you enjoy this video. And if you don't enjoy this part of the video and you really just need some help setting it up, we've got that released right now, trying to beat those landing gear up for you guys so you can see that they really do work. And if you don't know how to use the most expensive tool in your toolkit, well, one of the most expensive tools in your toolkits, which would be your programmable transmitter, we're here to help you. And we will help you step by step. And some people want a short format, entertainment style video. And what we do is long format here on this channel. So when we review a plane, we get into it in detail. We drag you along for the entire ride. And some people aren't into that, we get it. But what we're doing here, a lot of people need help with because they're new to the hobby or they're just coming back and they don't know all the technology. They don't know what the stuff does and how to use it and how to get the most out of it. And it's very easy to be tricked by the Chinese. China. They're always cheating. And you know why? Because they can make anything look good online. And then you're gonna buy a super expensive plane that sucks. And we will help to avoid having a bad experience just like that. And there's been many pilots that have ended up leaving the entire hobby because they bought one of those cheap, crappy planes that was not good enough. And they found out only about the time it ended in a tree. Sorry. So we're here to help you guys not be one of those one and dones. That's kind of the definition of a one and done. Or if you're just coming back to the hobby and you've got your futaba in the basement with 4 channels and it cost you $3,000 back in the 80s or the 70s even, we're here to help you get up to speed and enjoy everything in this hobby that's latest and greatest. And we just love doing it, by the way. My wife is the camera crew. She's very good at keeping these things in frame. You may have noticed you haven't puked yet watching the video. Not because of my terrible flying. I was testing the transformer to see if any RF would screw up. I was actually pretty close to the transformer. But she is super good and we're super happy that she is here and helping us enjoy this RC experience because she is not into it like I am. Oh, critically low. Oh, another thing we like to do on this channel is we like to run the batteries so they're completely dead just because. And we usually do that on Maidens just to give you guys an idea of what to expect. Smart packs are a little bit more expensive, but we've had super, super good luck with them. Just letting that battery relax. Full thrust reverse! And we still have a recovery on the amount of voltage left. And that's why I took a break. You can see the thrust, the differential thrust in action here. You see the left wing is spinning. Now we'll go the other way. That is so cool to watch. And I love the counter-rotating props. It looks so sweet. I bet on camera they look like they're sitting still, which is super cool. And so if you guys haven't ever had the pleasure of flying a radio-controlled airplane, by the way, that's 6 minutes 17 on top of 5, so we did about 11 minutes of flight time, less any time on the ground. I don't think we had much today.
Not really, just right at the very beginning.
So really good experience, super fun plane. Worst part of putting this plane together was the fact that the fuselage was real slick, which we'll get sometimes a mold release on there. And the mold release was causing the wing to slide off the whole time. Pro tip, put the thing in the back and just mount it. You're not gonna need in to bind it because there's a bind plug that comes up to the front and I totally missed it. But if you guys are curious about how to set this thing up on your radio, an X10 is overkill for this. You could do it on an NX8, you could do it on an NX6, because you technically get 7, but you might be a little bit lacking with thrust reverse and things like that. We're telling people right now, if you're investing the kind of money to get a 6, just get an 8. If you're investing the type of money to get an 8, you might want to consider the 10 because we have now run out of channels on about 3 or 4 planes so far. And we've done a lot. I'm up to 150 planes in this transmitter. So that's a lot of planes. And if you're concerned you're going to run out of channels, you know, it's nice to have the extra sliders back here, but you don't gain tons more features on the 10. It's mostly the extra channels. 8's gonna get you what you need. And then really where your value starts coming in is a bigger battery, the 6,000 milliamp hour battery. And then of course this little doohickey here, which is just a quick release because it's got a USB micro in it for whatever reason, instead of a USB-C, which would be nice to see because this is the latest and greatest. And also, by the way, I was just gonna say, we've had really good luck with this, and if you're considering the SE, I can't speak to that. I don't know if the gimbals are any better or if any of the features are necessary. So we've been very happy with the NX10. And yes, the NX10 has been great. I really do like it, and I'm getting used to having those channels and not having to worry about it when I run an 8-channel receiver, being able to turn on and off AS3X on those top 2 channels that are accessible still with a 10. So keep that in mind. If you're gonna set up a bind and fly, you should usually be fine with the number of channels you think, but if you have a plug and fly, keep in mind if you get an 8-channel receiver with AS3X and safe, you've got extra channels that are above the 8. So this will help you tap those so you can use them. All right, guys, amazing plane, twin timber, super cool, 1.6 meter, fairly easy to take the wing off, fairly easy to put the wing back on. There are extra plugs because you have 2 SCs and you actually have the servo plugs and all that stuff goes together. So it's actually not too bad, but I'm not gonna wanna take this thing apart. Landing gear have been super robust. We have intentionally tried to slam it multiple times. And we've seen some videos from the factory that are questionable where they were trying to break them and but they didn't. So way stronger, way stiffer springs. And yes, they do come together. They're stiffer, but they're way stronger. And really good mounting system, way easier to put together. Plus, sort of soft tires. These ones are okay. I found that the bushing quality still wears out on these. I'd like to see a pneumatic someday, but this is a good middle ground. I feel like that's an appropriate thing. Also, if you really want to soften these up, you can drill some holes in there. I know it would look stupid, but you could do it. Also, I love the fact that we have anti-crash or anti-collision beacons on top and bottom. I love the strobes, I love the nav lights, but just keep in mind with this wing style and this blue on the front, they do disappear. So you only see 1 or 2 lights at a time. I'd like to see a tail light. If that's the biggest complaint I have on this plane, that's pretty small. Also, it's not a scale plane. So I would like to see a King Air someday, but this thing is amazing. And I love the way the nacelles look. They look like they're upside down to me though, which is a little bit weird.
Do they?
Yeah, because there's an air inlet on the top. I love the way the plane handles in the air. I love the way it handles on the ground. The reverse thrust works really nice. I love the way it looks when it's doing those things because I like the way that the props spin. I also feel like this is going to be one of those planes where you can fly it if it's crazy outside or if it's calm. It's not dead calm, but as you can see, that's a pretty calm wind. It's laminar, it's going the same direction. It's not changing a bunch. As with any plane, we try to fly in good conditions so that we can show the plane. And then occasionally we're left with just garbage weather. So I think our other flight was like really
windier,
close. Yeah. So we have been struggling to get footage because the wind has been so bad this spring, not unusually, but we do appreciate you guys bearing with us. And we do appreciate you guys buying this from the links if we've helped you to answer questions or if you like this plane. At this moment, I would say if you're interested in supporting us financially, the best way to do it is to buy planes, transmitters, batteries, that sort of stuff, rather than supporting us on Patreon or PayPal. But if you do support us on Patreon and PayPal, we're buddies, we're friends and family. You know it, because otherwise they're gonna take egregious fees, like a couple bucks on 20, just to be clear. So then also, if you're a Patreon, thank you for supporting us monthly. It's very cool, it's an honor that you guys are willing to support us in that way. We have about 38 or 39 right now.
Yeah, something like that.
So it's super exciting, but at the end of the day, we still think the best way to support us is watch the videos, smash the like button, and buy these planes, transmitters, batteries, scooters, whatever it is we're reviewing at the time, when you find that is something you like. We never want to talk you into something you don't want. We want to help confirm what you do want. And what you do want is this thing. It's super fun. And you will have a blast. If you're an experienced pilot, you're going to enjoy it. If you're a brand new pilot, it might be a little bit extra complex for you. But the thing is, with safe makes it pretty easy to fly. That being said, the Timber is the same way, the 1.5 Evo. Okay, so it's the Timber Evo with a 1.5, not the Timber X with the 1.2. That's a crazy plane. You don't want to start with an X, you want to start with a 1.5 or this thing. This is going to give you some additional features that are going to create complexity that you may not know how to handle as a beginner. But truthfully, it's not that hard. Just watch our unbox build radio setup and you can get there. But you do have to have a nicer transmitter to do some of these more sophisticated planes. By the way, if you know you're hooked, just stop wasting time and get the transmitter. That's all you're doing. You'll never regret buying a good transmitter. You will regret not having it. I promise you. It's very painful because it's like a couple planes worth of expense. I get it. I've been there, done that, believe me. So it is a sacrifice at the beginning, but you'll have so much less trouble when you work your way through the ranks on the planes if you start with something good. Camera crew, what are your thoughts?
I think it looks really cool. I think it's neat.
Yeah.
I think people are going to like it. The differential thrust is super cool.
And it's really easy to put the battery in. It's got top access. This is float. You can put floats on it, which would be totally sweet. In fact, we just got done having a meeting with a guy about pond. So we've had meetings with a couple of different people about ponds. Yep. So hopefully that'll be something that's new and exciting on Brian Phillips RC, having a large, good quality pond here so we can do floats and maybe some boats and stuff like that. Obviously we'll have weed whackers around the edge.
Start reviewing like fishing gear.
Fishing gear, yeah, because we are
experts at fishing.
Let's add it to the list.
That'll be great.
But this 3200 4S has been good. It's a new pack in this case, but you do want to run a 50C is what they suggested. So if you're running a 30 seat, I think you'll probably be fine, to be honest. Oh, and telemetry. I almost didn't talk about it. You can see lots of telemetry data. Oh, and by the way, guess what? I've got battery to spare now that it's relaxed. When you set up your Avian ESCs, you don't have to use a programmer on this one.
Nope.
You do it all through this. And yes, we did run into problems. So watch the video to see how we dealt with it, which was basically trying again until it worked. So at the end of the day, is it the best thing since ever, since the beginning of all RC time? No. Is it the worst? Definitely not. Is it somewhere in the middle toward the top echelon? Yes. It's very fun. It's a good size. It's easy to see. It's got good lights. It's got soft tires. It's got good suspension. It's solved a lot of our woes with previous revisions of Timbers, but it's totally not a Timber. It's a totally new thing, if you ask me. It just happens to look a little bit like a Timber on the tail. So I think it's a total victory, and I think you'll love it. So if you decide to buy one, buy it from the links. You'll be supporting us. If you can't buy it from the links because you have to go out and buy it from your local hobby shop and all that stuff, still, you're gonna love this plane. But support us some other way if you think about it. That would be buying it from the links is the best deal. I also was gonna say, we have tons of new content. So if you guys haven't already subscribed to this channel, you're crazy. You should do it. We are gonna have so much new content coming, it's crazy. You're gonna wanna click the bell for notifications and click all so that you see all the notifications, because sometimes we're releasing really important updates about e-bikes.
Yes, you do not want to miss an e-bike, ever.
It's like our favorite thing. So, and by the way, if you do see that, all joking aside, we just do a couple of releases like that a year, so don't freak out. We try to run them on Sundays. We got our main events on Thursdays.
Wait till
sometimes
Monday,
on Monday. Yeah, wait like one day. And to
tomorrow.
tide you over, we have introduced about 1,700 additional videos for you to watch. During your 6 or 7 year jail sentence, you probably still can't get them all watched in time.
Yes.
So that's
On
why
that note.
a lot of prisoners on Brian Phillips RC. Special thanks to the prisoners watching. If you're a prisoner, definitely comment in the comments down below so that everybody can see. And we appreciate your support and patronage. Anything else I want to say that's embarrassing?
A good ending. Yep.
All right, so not sure how this is going to go, if this is the first or the second,
Yeah.
but one way or another, we try to show both. And if you haven't already seen the Unbox Build radio setup, it should have published just like a minute ago. So check it out. It's in the playlist. And by the way, if you're looking for something, you can't find it on Brian Phillips RC, check out www.brianphillipsrc.com, spelled the same way, just like it is here. There's no Y's involved.
Nope, all eyes.
brianphillipsrc.com, and then you can find this plane and many other like it that might interest you, and you can buy them from the links there, or you can follow them back here, watch the video, make decisions as you go. So hopefully we'll help you guys make final decisions when you're ready to get something like this. Thanks for watching. YouTube, it's Brian Phillips. Look at this thing. It is a 1.6 all new Timber, twin Timber. That's right. We got 2 motors, and I know you guys were nervous when you saw the word Timber because people don't want another Timber, except they want this one. So first things first, as you can tell, twin props, counter rotating. Let's just show you real quick. Oh yeah, that's so sweet. Oh, except I changed my mind. We're gonna back it up onto the runway. Yes, you'll notice there's some nav lights with bright strobes, and you notice the differential thrust, I'm sure already. And if you didn't, here goes nothing. This is our maiden flight. Pretty good so far. Holy cow, that is so weird. It's a 1.6 meter. So it's got a huge wingspan. We opted for the leading edge slats. You don't have to put them on, they're optional. We used some China glue to attach that. Actually, it was foam to foam. And then check out this slow flight performance, folks. You can practically stop, go to the bathroom, and come back where you were. Look at how solid that is. Not even one click of trim yet. Okay, out of the flaps. It's like super rock solid, folks. Full landing flaps here. Look at how nice that is. We're gonna go on the inside here. You good?
It sounds different than I was expecting.
I know, it's like so calm and docile.
Yeah.
I figured it would be like some insane thing. It's definitely not low energy, I can tell you that. And but yet it's got no edge. Like, I feel like it's super ultra forgiving. Different stick position this time. Let's see if we can get it to flat spin. Maybe that long wingspan might stop us. But folks, I gotta say, from E-flite, we haven't had anything brand new for a long time that's strictly brand new, not some sort of a re-release. This thing is brand new and it is super cool. And I love the differential thrust. It's so much fun. Look at the yaw authority you got. You can, look at how flat that is. That is so weird. It's like hovering. All right, I really want to try to get it. I want to try to get the flat. Come on, flat spin, baby. Oh, we're so close. All right. Oh, and then by the way, if you guys are new to the hobby, this thing comes equipped with safe. Okay, so I've got sensor-aided flight envelope now. So I'm just basically showing you that you don't know how to level the plane. It'll automatically level that. Of course, you can keep flying it like normal. In fact, I'll fly a circuit on safe just to show you. Take off flaps, landing flaps. Watch this thing. On safe, as soon as you let go of the sticks, it'll make the worst pilot look like they know what they're doing. So some of our friends will be able to appreciate that. Look at that. Landing gear, everything, it's solid, ready to go. That was in safe, folks. And these landing gear have been redesigned to actually try to help from breaking, because people were having problems with these springs on the old timbers. This thing is rock solid, so it's designed to take a beating. Oh, I can't believe I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna just drop it. I know, that hurts. Okay, so we're out of safe. Here we go. Let's do a STOL performance in the grass. I bet I can get off before the end of the driveway there. Okay. Woo, buddy! That was crazy. Throttle cuts on, and evidently our grass is a little bit too tall for that. And just so you can see, that was no joke. All the grass coming out. Why don't we try a STOL performance here on the driveway? Okay. You ready, camera crew? That's pretty quick, guys. And it's no hesitation getting in the air. I think it's more just a different geometry than we're used to. So if you guys are looking for something new and unexpected and totally fun, and yes, you can put floats on this thing, and that would be one heck of a beautiful watercraft. Because here's the thing, think about this. You go up to the edge of the river or the edge of the creek or pond or whatever it is, lake. You can flip that reverse thrust on, and with differential thrust, you should be able to basically spin the thing in a circle. It's gonna be so cool. And it's not like you have to go around being a crazy person. You can just do ordinary aerobatic maneuvers. Okay, we have a timer that's going off. I can't remember what we set, but I'll reset it. That's 5 minutes. We'll just let it run again. Going on the inside this time. Let's try stall turn. Stall turn's always a little bit cheating when you've got differential thrust, so I made sure I was out. It kind of screams funny, that's cool. Full landing flaps here. A little bit of a slip too. Look at that slip, it's so weird.
That is weird.
Okay, let's go out to the center of the driveway there. Right there. Showing you some more of that robust landing gear. I never do that on purpose, except for when we've been told they're super robust. And I saw a couple of like short videos from the factory where they were basically trying to break it. And look at that. Oh, and if you want to stop it, you can stop it on a dime with thrust reverse. Cool. So, okay, let's check our telemetry real quick. We're about 3 minutes 56 left, okay? So I'm gonna clear that. So that means we would have flown for about 6 minutes of total flight time. And as you can see, we got full telemetry here. and we got plenty of time to spare, so we're gonna fly until we kill the battery. This is a 50C 2200 or 3200 4S. Yes. Now this thing will fly on 3S, but I would say just don't bother. Just get the 4S and get into it. It's gonna be more fun. Love the lights. We've got that underside, we've got the top, we've got both wing tips for nav lights. And twin Avian ESCs with thrust reverse were super duper simple to put together. The build, the worst part of the build was I should have just stuck the wing on first because it kept sliding off on me. And the fuse was, you know, that greasy mold release that you'll get. The wing didn't have that problem, but the fuse did. It's still slick to this day. I should just wipe the thing down. But man, that thing is just, it just does exactly what you want, when you want, without any sort of problems. The only thing you're gonna have problems with is when you try to cornhole the thing. It definitely has long wings, so it doesn't like to spin quite as fast as some of our other timbers. I wanna bring it in and stall it right onto its feet. Let's see how bad it is. Okay, so I'm gonna slip, 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 slip. Probably do it on the grass if I can. Oh yeah!
Whew.
So let's go check it out. Throttle cuts on, out of the flaps. My biggest concern is breaking the tail because we flipped the thing over 3 times screwing with it, and yet it hasn't broke yet. But just keep in mind, you've got your little adapter here for your floats, okay? So you're gonna have a water rudder on there. And look at that, we even dug in the prop again. We've hit the props on the ground twice now, haven't broke anything, and we flipped it over 3 times. Okay, so let's show you not flipping it over. Camera crew, thank you. You don't have to crash it just to make it fun. Okay, full landing flaps down. Just do a real slow flight.
Wow.
I love it. That's about 40% throttle, about 30, about 40, about 50, about 60, back to about 50. Just cruising there. We're right overhead here. Show you what it looks like on the belly and then back around. Trying to make the camera crew sick this morning, evidently. And myself. That is something else, guys. I could use 2 clicks of trim to get that nose from lifting a little bit. Those leading edge slats will impair your aerobatic flight performance slightly, but as you can see, it's nothing you can't overcome with a little stick movement. So as you can see, I'm definitely giving, I'm about 90% throttle. I got about 5% stick input to keep that nose where it is. And reverse coordinating is always awkward for me. And then full throttle, we'll bring it around. Full landing flaps as we come around and then back, and then we'll do the opposite. Okay, full landing flaps as rotating, and it'll get you over the top of that apex a little bit quicker. What a weird and cool flight experience, folks. Very much loving it. Love the way it looks, love the way it performs, love the way it went together, except for the greasy fuse. And it just gives and gives and gives. Do you hear that noise?
I do. Is that a truck?
Yeah, I think it's a loud truck. I'm gonna say, not impossible to plane, but if it's a plane, it's above the ceiling.
Yeah.
That looks so sweet.
It does.
You guys may notice I engage the throttle just a little bit to get those props spinning. Excuse me. I like the way it looks when they spin a little better than when they're arrested. See if we can do a little drag out landing. I hope you guys understand how challenging that is with those sticky foam-like tires. These have the foam squishies, and to be honest with you, they can be twice as soft, and I wouldn't complain, but they're definitely not rock hard styrofoam tires. They're the packing foam style. And that does allow you to get down on the mains but yet you can still do craziness like this. Okay, we're going to our second timer of 5 minutes. And yes, we did have a little bit of downtime. So on 3200 4S, 50-seat pack, we're looking at roughly 10 minutes of flight time so far. So camera crew, what do you think of it so far? There's our critically low. In fact, I'm just gonna interrupt you.
Yep, that's good.
We'll just take a landing. I'm gonna go behind you.
Okay.
Perfect. I got full landing flaps. I just wanna loiter for a second. I wanna give those batteries just a second, just a second to relax. And I'm really at a steep angle, so I gotta use some of that real estate up. But all I'm doing is just chilling. Twins like to eat batteries. Let's see how this one did. Take off flaps. You're like, I thought you were landing, Brian. Yep, I did too. Let's land it right here. Full landing flaps now. About 20-30% throttle. Oh yes! Don't you dip over! Okay, so I didn't even use the thrust reverse. Well, there's a little just to say we did it. And part of the reason is it takes a second to kick it in when your voltage is lower. So, what's not to say, that thing is amazing. I think you're gonna love it. The Twin Timber by E-flite. This is a 1.6 meter platform. I love it with the leading edge slats. I think it looks cool, and I think you're gonna love it. Guys, this is something else. It's a little different flight experience. You know, I'm a sucker for scale aircraft, and this thing is definitely not a scale aircraft, but I love the way it looks. I love the way it flies, and it is definitely a lot of fun. So I think you're gonna enjoy it. And what I want you to do is, if you wanna support Brian Phillips RC, if you like anything about this video, smash the like button. Please do that right away. It helps us a lot with long format. We get punished by YouTube, and it's just something that, you know, they have decided they want shorts, the little attention getting time wasters that we all know about when we sit on the toilet. So basically, we're doing something that you can sit down and enjoy for a while, and we're also doing something that's gonna serve the hobby, which is helping beginners get into the hobby, helping teach people how to set up their most expensive piece of equipment right here, or one of the most expensive pieces of equipment, which, by the way, everything we teach you on this can be translated into other stuff. So it's not like we're just doing a little bit. We're trying to give an all-inclusive window into how to do this hobby and do it well. And of course, we're not the best at it, but we do our best for you. And that's why we want you to smash the like button, click the bell for notifications, and subscribe if you haven't already, and click all as the choice, and you'll be notified about all of our videos, and you'll know about these things before anybody else, hopefully. And then secondly, the biggest thing you can do to help support us is really just buy the stuff from the links when you like the plane. This plane is super cool. We're super excited to be partnering up with all these different wonderful companies, vendors, distributors, local hobby shops, different companies that we work with. And the best way you can support us is support the people that send these planes for review. And that gives us the opportunity to be able to review a plethora of planes, which, by the way, that helps us to understand what's available. And so we're not comparing this against nothing. We're comparing it against a plethora of other great options. And so when you ask me a question, you say, hey, Brian, is a Twin Timber the best plane? No, and it never is. No matter what plane you ask, it's never my favorite. It's never the best. Why? Because I love planes, and I love this hobby, and I'm gonna do all the planes I could do, because that way I know how to tell you what's better when you give me a choice of 2 or 3 options. Or maybe better in your circumstance. Maybe you've got a bigger area to fly. You may not like this as much as getting the Carbon Z Cessna T28. That doesn't exist. I just cannot get that right.
Yeah,
the Carbon Z series is all awesome.
Any of them, whichever
Any
one
of
you want.
them.
Yeah.
But the T28 most recently, I love it. It's just like my favorite right now.
Yep.
But just wait till the next one. Anyway, so the Twin Timber is just amazing. You guys are gonna love it. It's one of our favorite things about this hobby, is being able to bring you the latest and greatest. It's something that we weren't able to do before, but now we can do now. So we are all over it, and it's super fun, but it also is challenging because we've got to hit weather windows, and it's spring in Iowa. And I don't know if any of you guys live in Iowa or the Midwest. You know, it's been terrible. We had tornadoes like crazy the other day. We had wind so hard that these socks were about touching the ground. I mean, it was just nuts. Wasn't quite a derecho, which is an inland hurricane essentially, but it was pretty bad. I mean, there was dust storms going up all over the place.
Yeah,
so we've just been fighting some major weather concerns. And so we're really fortunate to have this opportunity to bring this video at this time to you. And we appreciate you guys supporting us, everything you do, whether it's watching, smashing the like button, sending us gifts on Patreon, which is a monthly support gift. So if you're a Patreon, thanks for being one of our Patrons. If you want to be one, we have links down below, just below this plain battery transmitter. That's what we try to do. This is a bind and fly basic, so you do have to provide your own battery. We chose to use 3200 4S. We always link to that down below too, because it's a question we get all the time. And then if you follow the link to the plane and you buy it, and then you add some other stuff to your cart, they'll give us credit for that too. So don't be afraid. We trust them. If you're ever in question, just ask us a question. You can send us an email in the About tab and say, hey, are you sure you got, this? It's come up a couple of times, and people have been super supportive, and the factory is super supportive to make sure that credit's due where it's supposed to be coming from. And so we really do appreciate you guys being here for us, caring about us, and we try to reciprocate as much as we possibly can. And we love doing this. We want to get new people into the hobby. We want to take beginners from nothing to flying to skilled, and we want to take, people that have quit the hobby for one reason or another and get them back in the air, because that's what we really need right now. Is we need more people doing a wholesome, family-friendly, super fun, real, hard, worth it experience, because there's so many other shallow experiences we get in our real lives today, and it's just like, you're throwing your lives away if you're just sitting there on your phone all day. And I'm not saying you don't sit there and watch Brian Phillips RC. Obviously you do that.
Yes.
But while you're playing the video and you're flying at the field, this is the type of thing you need to be enjoying, and we're here to help you do it. And so we appreciate you guys very much. Now, if you want to stay tuned, we're going to try to have more flight performances on this twin timber, but we're probably out of time for today. So if you haven't already checked it out, we've got the Unbox Build radio setup already ready for you. It was a pretty straightforward setup. Everything from putting it together to setting the CG to turning on and off safe select, all that stuff, we show it all.
And we did show the differential thrust through the NX10 this time instead of with the little programming.
Yeah, box. Differential thrust
so we set
was
that up
all built in out of the box, and all you have to do is set up the thrust reverse, and we do show it on this, and we do show the problems we experienced. And that's something you're not going to get with the rest of them, because what we do here is we're not covering for these guys so that you guys have to figure it out. What we're doing is we're covering for you guys so that they can figure it out. And they've actually been pretty good, and a couple other brands have been very good, and a couple other brands have been not good at all. And so you may have noticed we sort of stopped doing them altogether. It's usually a mutually beneficial relationship that ends, because we don't want to screw you guys over, and they don't mind doing it. Not necessarily these guys, but some of the other guys do. They're just all about selling stuff. We want the best stuff in this hobby because we need it to survive. And the way it survives is you get your buddies and you get them out there and you say, look at this real, difficult, rewarding experience. If it's easy, it's not worth doing. I don't know if that's totally true, but basically some of the hardest things you're gonna do in life are some of the most rewarding. And this is one of them. Flying RC aircraft is super rewarding. And you will see those limp flags and you will get super excited. And I promise you, driving home, driving to work, whatever it is you do for a living, or if you're retired, you're gonna see that limp sock and you'll be like, I need to be in the air. And it's crazy. As soon as spring rolls around, you're gonna wanna fly like crazy. So you come out of that cocoon. If you're like us, you've been out freezing your tails off, and now all of a sudden it's gonna be comfortable for about 3 weeks until the bugs start eating us alive. Actually, that's not 3 weeks, that's like immediate.
Yeah.
So anyway, guys, without further ado, we know you guys know what we do here. And if you don't already know, there's literally thousands of videos. We got like 1,800 videos right now that you can watch. All you have to do is click on the playlist. They're all organized by make and model or by event or something like that, whatever it is. Sometimes we have some off the wall stuff, but you can also go over to www.brianphillipsrc.com, which is our domain, and you can check out if there's coupon codes and things like that. And anytime you use the coupon codes, you're helping to support us. Just follow the links. We also have links built into the pictures and things, so you can click them and follow in. And then if you guys ever need a manual, or you're trying to find the thing that we used in a video that you can't quite figure out, you can either ask in the comments, or you can click the link for the plane, and then many times the manual is just scroll down a little bit further and you'll see it. Okay, so just pick the right plane, because we try to make it as easy as possible for you, because at the end of the day, we just want you guys flying. So stay tuned. So much more from Brian Phillips RC, and special thanks to the camera crew. Give her a shout out in the comments. She loves doing this. She's good at it. Is that true?
There you go.
So anyway,
Apparently.
thanks to my wonderful wife of many years. She's behind the camera and supporting me all the time and running the website and doing all the behind the scenes stuff. So special kudos to her today, and we appreciate you. So thanks for watching, guys. Come back for more.